Hello, beautiful people. Today I want to talk a little bit about how I feel about our place in the world, how I feel about our connection with other people, and also what is the right thing for us to do when we gotta move on from a relationship, a friendship, a social environment, or to just let it be as it is and we continue with what we really want in life and we accept it as it is instead of mourning over it or regretting or judging it or whatever, meaning other people, circumstances, events. My journey to opening my heart has been a fascinating story. And to be honest with you, sometimes I've wished really that I would be another person, that I would have another life, that I would have lived my life differently, that I would have taken different choices, that I would have made different decisions, and that I would have acted differently. Basically, sometimes I catch myself wishing that I would have been somebody different. And as we know, and as I know, this is not only impossible in terms of nowadays perspective, meaning that I've made the best choices I was able to make at any given point of time. And everybody does that. Everybody does their best. And it's a very humbling realization. It's a very, very humbling observation just to ponder upon this. That everybody does the best that they can, whether they do something which is labeled as good or bad, according to other people, according to tradition, societal conditions, appropriations, and stuff like this, our own understandings. And with a little bit of sadness in my heart, I've been realizing that I have to move on. I have to move on from what I was thinking is the right thing for me. Yeah, which means my environment, which means this which I call my life, this also which I call myself, meaning I am like this or I'm like that, that's who I am. And because for the most part, this is a wanted change. This is something that I've been walking towards for a few years now. And in the recent 1 or 2 years, and especially, I always say that, but it's always true, by the way, especially in the recent months. It's so true that it's a very conscious choice. And I sense that it comes with a price. This price is so valuable, meaning what I gotta pay is so valuable because I gotta pay with the memories of who I thought I was, the memories and thoughts of how limited I was, and invest this money or this value into the realization of seeing that I have had those thoughts, seeing and really acknowledging that I have had those beliefs, and investing it in a better now, in a better future. Which in my case means I gotta see it in order to change it. And when I see it, that's the moment I pay the price of temporary suffering or temporary unpleasant emotions, feelings, temporary anger, temporary judgment. But in order for me to see this anger, to see this judgment, to see those feelings, to feel it, I gotta open up to it. I gotta see it. And even though this is a process that takes time, I just wanted to encourage you personally that if you're going through a tough time, but you really want to change, you really want to continue moving on with your life and the things that you really want to do, or the way that you really want to feel, or the way that you really want to be in life, in your life, towards yourself, towards other people. If, for example, judgment arises in your mind and you feel in a resentful way towards others and you do not want to be this person anymore, yep, it we gotta pay the price for that. In order not to be this person, we gotta see this person. This which is painful, this which has been driving us in this direction of judging others, of labeling others, of basically doing this to ourselves. And we gotta let it go. So we gotta pay the price. We gotta hurt a little bit in one way or another and move on. Let it go, release it, transform it, and essentially change who we are. Change who we believe that we are. This image that we've created around who we identify with. And this sometimes can be effortless. Sometimes it's accompanied with so much joy and love for life, so much freedom and lightness in the body and ease. And sometimes it's accompanied with luggage that hurts us, with luggage that has been weighing us down for way too long and has created pain in us, has created patterns of suffering, emotional suffering, mental suffering, social suffering, anxiety, fear, anger, judgment, regret, shame, guilt, all those things, who we essentially are not. And because it's painful to carry something that you're not, or something that you don't need, something that is not true, we gotta see this luggage, and sometimes this luggage has made those little canals, in our flesh, because we've been carrying it for so long, and we've been carrying it like on a strap, and it has created those little canals in our flesh. And in order for us to actually push it up and throw it away, we have to kind of go through the flesh, like back and out. And this process sometimes can be painful. But what is on the other side, I'm sensing, especially since I really started this journey of opening my heart, of seeing another possibility for myself and really doing my best in order to act like it, to think like it, to see like it, and to act like it. I see that sometimes it comes with pain, sometimes it comes with sorrow, sometimes it comes with sadness, and sometimes it's also connected to other people that I've believed that I want to be acknowledged by, or to be recognized by, or to be necessarily understood by. And by understood, I mean there are certain perceptions each and every one of us holds about who we are, about other people, about life. Some perceptions are more true, some perceptions are more aligned with love, with compassion, with kindness. Some perceptions are not. But essentially, how I see, for example, friendship, or how I see relationship between people generally, whether it's romantic or not, I see it as an open space where two or more people can be open to each other at whatever stage they are in their life journey, and that they can listen to each other, understand each other up to their own capabilities of understanding each other. But mostly think about this. If you are meeting with a group of people, let's say, that is not really interested in the things that are really close to your heart, that make you feel like you're shining and blooming your light, you feel like your heart is just flying, then it might be time to move on. It might be time to reassess the situation and be like, maybe, just maybe, it is the right thing to move on. And by moving on, I don't mean abandoning somebody or being like, oh, you made me feel like this, but just accepting that's who they are right now, and that's who I am right now, and there is nothing wrong about it. Animals in nature, they walk in herds, and they walk always in the right herd, not necessarily because one is better than the other, but because there is relation. And this relation is based on trust, based on understanding, and based on acceptance of who you are, of who they are to you, and so on. So this acceptance and understanding is so important. And if we do not get it, why would we have to push against it in order to get it? Maybe the other person is not ready. Maybe we're not ready for something. Is there anything wrong in that? No, totally not. Is there anything harmful if we still try to push against it? Yep, there is harmful. There is something harmful for us and for them. Because if we didn't have any internal feeling of unworthiness or not being good enough or not being loved and accepted, we wouldn't strive to get this acknowledgement from them, because it would be totally normal. Sometimes we talk with somebody, they don't understand us. So what? Big deal. Big deal. In 1 year, we're going to talk about the same thing with them, and they might understand us perfectly. But now, if we feel okay inside, we can just let it go and move on. Accept it without judgment, without blame, without anything, and move on. Being happy with what we really want to do in our lives. And this is what I've been realizing for myself recently, that certain amount of sadness that I keep in myself is about maybe not being accepted sometimes by certain people, maybe not being understood. And you know, when you try to share something with somebody and you try to explain what you understand, but then you see that they don't really want to talk about it, and then they don't ask you any questions, they don't really want to continue the topic, and they just don't come back to it. You understand that, okay, they're like that, and that's totally fine. I do not want to make a green apple tree red, because it's not red, or at least it's not red yet. So why force something instead of just lovingly and kindly and compassionately moving on with love, with joy for life. Being happy that we are alive, being happy that I'm alive, that I can do and be who I truly am and what I truly want to do and be. And there is a certain amount of acceptance and letting go in this thinking, this type of thinking, this type of perceiving life, perceiving situations that we have with other people and with ourselves. Not to say that there is anybody to judge or that there is anybody guilty, but just moving on, accepting it. It's so much easier, so much lighter, so much more natural and harmonious. Think about it. So I hope this served you in one way or another. I hope this gave you something that is of worth, of value to you. And my wish for you for today is to accept who you are, to accept the situations that you have in your life, and to really accept the idea and the feeling of moving on with who you are, with love and happiness. If you like this video, guys, please hit the like and subscribe button. See you soon. Ciao.